Hey guys, one more to another video on the Inside Spurs channel. Happy Tuesday morning. I hope you are okay. I hope that you are all right. I hope the day is going to look like it's going to treat you well, as well as the week. In this video, though, we are talking loan roundup. We're going to drag the boys out on loan. There's some good stuff this week. There's some bad stuff that we need to talk about as well. We've got interest from Napoli, potentially, for Timo Werner and what that might mean. We're going to be talking Kolo is a small little update on that. We're going to whiz through that one. I don't want to spend time on it because I'm a bit bored about talking about it. If you know, you know. Real Madrid interest in Archie Gray, as well as some new updates surrounding Marcus Rashford from a couple of different sources. Well, so if you're watching this, you're new, subscribe. You're very much welcome to join us for the journey. Morning, Adese. I don't know, football, Spurs, Bazza, Sonia, how are we all? Look, let's jump in. We got some good stuff today. We've got some stuff. Morning, Adventurous Matt, how are you? We got some good stuff, but we're going to whiz through, as we always start with, we're going to whiz through the loan roundup and get through this. Ready, set, go. It's Leeds United 1-0 win at home against Harrogate Town in the FA Cup. Manor Solomon did play in this game. He played 78 minutes, and he's having a decent time at Leeds. It was a difficult start, but I think as the season's gone on, he is growing into the team. Leyton Orient haven't played since we last talked, so we won't need to talk about them. Stoke City, they won 2-1 away to Sunderland in the FA Cup, and Ashley Phillips playing in that game the full 90. And look, that's a massive result for those guys, because Sunderland are towards the top of the Championship, Stoke are towards the mid-table and below. That was a bit of an upset, so congratulations to those guys. Stoke City into the next round. You love to see it. Oxford City, they lost in the FA Cup third round against Exeter. Bit of a surprising result. Bear in mind, Exeter in a different division to them. Dane Scarlett did play in this game, played the full 90, about damn time. Tough result. One of those things, we move on. A little bit of bad news, though. A little bit of good and bad out in Belgium. Alfie Devine scoring in a 2-1 loss for Westlow. The bad news, Luka Vuskovic getting sent off for really disciplinary issues. He was squaring up the ref, and it was a bad look. And I think it shows somewhat his age and immaturity that he's doing that. But all situations are situations you can learn from if you're willing to learn from them, But we shall see. Girona, 1-0 win away to Alaves. Bit of a boring game on paper. They had 3 shots, Girona, and had 1 on target, and they scored it. But Alaves towards the bottom of the league. Girona now are 2 points behind 5th, and they're in 8th. They're 2 points behind. Brian Hill, again, in this game starting. Brian's having a good loan spell, and we need to be cashing in on him in the summer. I'm just saying it now, just putting it out into the atmosphere, into the ethos. We need to cash in on him. Espanyol flavoured news: 1-1 draw at home to Legan. I think there's a situation with Veliz that might get sent back. I mean, he played about half an hour of this game. You could see a situation where he gets sent back off of loan back to us, and what that is, we'll see for his next move. Notts County haven't played either. Their game got postponed away to Grimsby Town. So there we go. Loan roundup completed, done, finito. All right. Morning, Kookaburra. Act like a presenter. I'd be probably dressed up in something a little bit better than a hoodie and a t-shirt. Morning, R2. How are you, mate? How's D2? Terrible, I know. But no, overall, some good stuff out there. Definitely, Vuskovic needs to get his head back in order. Let's talk some transfers, shall we? Come on. So, we got a lot to talk about. Let's start with Archie Gray, because it's the first one of my tabs. Fejahez have said that Real Madrid are lining up a bid to sign Archie Gray after the 18-year-old has impressed as an emergency centre-back at Tottenham this season. And, hey, you're more than welcome to make an offer. We'll take 150 million, please, now. Thank you very much. Yeah, he's not leaving. So anyone that's thinking he's not leaving, don't worry about it. He's got a long-term contract. He looks like he could be a pillar for this club as well. I thought his attitudes surrounding the Tamworth game was true pro. He talked up Tamworth. He was great with the fans. He gave his boots to the fans, all that stuff. But he also talked about this. We weren't good enough today. And I thought that was brilliant. Don't get me wrong. We're all happy we're through. And we should be. We're fans, you know. It doesn't matter how you get through the cup competitions, you're through. But he was the one guy that said that wasn't good enough still. We need to be better. And I thought, that is a great attitude. Now, an 18-year-old being sent to do media duties, that's a bit interesting for me. But I really did appreciate his honesty there because it's lacking in football at times. But yeah, Real Madrid can bid as much as they want. If that number is not near 150 million, Spurs won't go near it. Now, it doesn't mean he's worth 150 million. It's more of us to ward them off. You know, it doesn't matter what Real Madrid want. I couldn't care what Real Madrid want. They can have Reguilon if they want. They can have him back. All right. So there you go. Morning, Jake. How are you? Arsenal 1, Spurs 3. Good Lord. Maybe the media duties are given to every player like a rota. Maybe, yeah, maybe Boris. That's not a bad shout. He might have put his hand up and said, I'll go do it. I like that R2. Gray will become a future captain of the club. I like that because actually I can see that, you know. He looks like he can be a bit of a pillar for this club, you know. Same with Lucas Bergvall, you know, maybe a Kinski, you know, Mickey Van der Ven, Destiny Udogie, Kulusevski. I was trying to think of another younger player, but we haven't got as many great ones as that, you know. Mikey Moore, maybe. Hey Tony, how are you? It's you, Rec. You got an R2 name now, have you? Good Lord. One thing I'm sure what Madrid want, revenge on Barca, 2 big losses. Yeah, and they need to look at themselves before they go look at everyone else. Morning, Liam. How are you, mate? They do need a centre-back, though. They've got some issues at centre-back, so they do need one, which if they do, Ashley Phillips, if you want that, I'm joking. Moving on. Come on, let's talk about quick whiz through Cullen Muani before I come to Rashford. Tottenham is active in the race for Cullen Muani. L'Equipe have said that because Daniel Levy has a great relation with Nasser El Khelafi, who is the owner of PSG. This is the hilarious line from this article. The prospect of joining the Premier League seduces Cullen Muani. What an odd thing to say. What such an odd thing to say. I swear, people just say things and they don't think about what they're saying. It's just a weird statement. It goes on to say that Juventus still have an interest in the player, but are lacking funds in order to put forward towards a deal. So that's interesting. You know, we've been talking about how Juve, they're active. Juve, they're the guy. Juve, they're the team. Blah, 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 blah. Well, if they've got the money, Spurs should go, okay, so they want you. They want you. But they both can't afford you. So how you going? Just be like, see you at training tomorrow, yeah? Yeah, come on then. You know, look, in reality, if those two teams do not have the funds to get this done, get it done quickly. Simple as that. Morning, Liam. How are you? You're on your intern lap. Oh, good. Good Lord. What time is it in England? It is 10:09 a.m. Once these kids play more and more together, they'll be phenomenal. We've got a fabulous team for the future. Absolutely. Hey, it's Cowboy. How are you, my friend? He's so mature. Lucas has more to do, but he's still fairly good ahead on him. Yeah, he's got also a few teams sniffing now. It wouldn't surprise me that Spurs would be kept in the loop regarding any deals. Kvara with PSG done 70 million. Good bit of business for them. Weird move for him. That seems like a bit of a money grab. It's a weird move for him, but regardless, it is what it is. You know, if that means Cullen Muani gets done and that's what we're going for, we shall see. Supposedly there was some PSR news surrounding teams that might be getting done, but apparently everyone's passed somehow. I swear, if these teams have all passed, Spurs must be like hundreds of millions of pounds clear of PSR. It's a weird one. It's 5 a.m. Where are you going? Tony, where are you in the world? Where are you in America? America. And are you a Tom Brady fan? The GOAT. The GOAT. Hey, Peter, how are you, my friend? Do you think clubs are afraid to spend cash now because of allegations? You have to be wary, don't you? You have to be worried. You have to be concerned. And you always are sort of, you know, it's like if this is the line of where PSR is for your club, every club will be about there. They're going to leave a quite decent gap. So there's no way they can get caught with it, you know? So we'll see. We'll see. But I expect, some clubs to be a little bit more wary. I think they will manufacture deals where players, instead of getting like a 3.5-year deal or a 3-year deal, are getting a 5-year deal. So they can stretch that deal out as much as they can. So they can stretch the fee out across that deal as much as they can as well. That's why Chelsea have gotten away with it, because before the rules came in, they stretched the Caicedo deal, the Mudryk deal, the Fernandes deal. They stretched it over like 9 years. So even though they're paying £10 million to those clubs for 9 to 10 years, they can stretch that deal out. So they're not paying 40 or 50 in 1 year, you know? You're in Boston, Tony. Well, then, yes, he is the GOAT. Bale is the GOAT of Spurs, but he's definitely not the GOAT of the New England Patriots, which Mike Vrabel's in. Mike Vrabel, 4th overall pick, 130 million in cap space. Ooh, Patriots are back, baby. Sounds like Cole Marley will end up at Spurs. It's 9-10 in Sydney. Love it, Angelo. We'll see what happens with this week, but we definitely need people in. Don't we normally do good with PSR? Yeah, we're cooking there. I want to get centre back, winger, and striker if possible, but definitely centre back. I think they will still get a defender as well as an attacker. We'll see about midfield, but I think that's the 2 areas they will get. And let's talk about the attacker, because we do have some Marcus Rashford / Timo Werner news. Let's start with old Timo before we get to Rashford. And it's that Napoli, after moving off of Kvara, have said that they are meeting in Barcelona and they're meeting the agents of Garnacho, and they're talking about Timo Werner, which, look, Antonio Conte. Hey, you want Timo? You come get him. You come get him. I'll do you that favor. All right? Just because you remember when you were like doing a favor for Spurs because you're bigger than Spurs. I'll do you this favor. Have Timo's there. Baller. Flat out baller. Can't lie, I think Timo Werner would probably cook in the Serie A. But regardless, he's not moving though. Jack Bitbrook has said he's not moving. The only way he moves is if Spurs are adding more than one attacker to their ranks, which I don't think they will. So regardless, as much as we all got excited, he's not leaving. I think Werner will be staying to the end of the season, personally. No, it doesn't. If there's no links, doesn't mean we don't sign a player. Who said there was a link to Kinski and we end up signing one, you know? Eagles for Super Bowl. I tell you what, Rams looked good yesterday. That defense looked good, Cowboy. That defense looked good. I think Hurts looked a little bit rusty. We'll see about that. But that Rams defense looked solid. And Stafford, I mean, the one thing you can guarantee Rams over Eagles is you've got a quarterback who's won a Super Bowl not long ago. The coach did the same thing. And they got a coaching probably benefit over Sirianni. So it doesn't matter. I prefer the Lions over all of them anyway. Lions are the team to beat, in my opinion, in the NFC. Please get Timo Werner out of the club. He's trash. Can't even make a pass. I could see if Spurs get either Rashford or Cole, I could see him moving. I don't even think that. I think they might even try and keep him if they get one, you know. There were links that we were signing a goalkeeper. Yeah, but it doesn't mean... Yeah, but there was no links to Kinski is what I'm saying. Everyone seems to forget 2 out of our newest signs weren't even told about that being Odebear and Kinski. Well, yeah. Yeah, no, I rate it. I'll rate it. As I said last year, Timo is a delay measure. He delays the need to spend on wingers. It didn't work, but that was the intent. Absolutely. Hogan, mate, how are you? How are you? Let's talk, though, because we've got some interesting surrounding updates on old Marcus Rashford, because we got one from Ekram Knorr and we got one from DiMarzio. Now, let me start with DiMarzio first, saying that Milan on tomorrow, Wednesday, the 15th of January, is a very important day for the future of Marcus Rashford. The meeting between the brother/agent and Man United is scheduled. Okay. So tomorrow, we might get a bit of an update. Maybe on the 16th, we might get a bit of a juicier update surrounding Marcus Rashford's future. We're still, by the sounds of things, of all the Premier League clubs, we're the most linked to him. It's not the one for me. It's the same thing with anything that I've said when it comes to some of our deals. If Ange wants them, I will back it. Now, does it mean I want them? No. I've not wanted every player that Ange has signed. But he's the guy who's in charge. He's the guy who's the manager. You need to support your manager. We've not done it enough. We did it, like I said, we didn't do it with Conte enough. We didn't do it with Mourinho. We didn't do it with Poch. You know, back a manager. If you want him to succeed, you back the manager. And if he feels like he needs Marcus Rashford to be successful, you go and try and get Marcus Rashford. Now, he is expensive. You are dealing with another Premier League side. That's not helpful. But again, if it's what he wants, it's what he wants. But for me, I don't personally want him. Okay, I'm just saying that now. Heard Levy's replaced all the physio team. He's in the process of doing it. Did you see the clip news on Colo? Joshua, I've already talked about it. I was ahead of schedule. Ahead of schedule. Be here on time next time, Joshua. God's sake. How are you then, my friends? Werner's probably the only player that Ange got wrong, and maybe Johnson. Johnson wasn't 60 mil, mate. Johnson was like 45, 47. Sorry for the camera shake. I just knocked my table. But look, that's that first bit on Marcus Rashford. We've got more. We've got more. Ekram Kanor saying that Tottenham are interested in signing Marcus Rashford on loan and are planning to hold talks with Manchester United. Spurs holding talks with Manchester United surrounding Marcus Rashford. Just going to let that one settle for a second. If true, panic. If true, panic for me. But like I said, if Ange wants him, Ange wants him. Hands up. If Ange wants him, I'll be there with him. But I really don't want him. Really don't want it. Nervous about North London, but we have a great chance. Absolutely. It wasn't 60 million. Yeah, Rashford, no, I'm with you. I'm with you there. GG Giant. GG Giant. I'll keep Johnson a good player. Oh, look. Johnson is a guy that plays well when we're playing well, Low in the option to buy. Yeah, if we were to go for a Rashford, for me, it's the same thing do you know what? I treat the Marcus Rashford deal quite similarly to Kolo Muani. Both guys haven't had a good season in a couple of years. Their last good season was about 2 years ago. Pretty much the same thing. Both would be an expensive deal. Both play in the attack wing, but can play striker as well. Rashford was a striker and then moved to wing. The other thing about Rashford, and when people go, "Oh, he would suit us so much," and I go, "You've not watched Man United, have you? For the last year and a half, 2-3 years, you've not watched Man United." Rashford cuts in and shoots a lot, like a lot. Højlund at times doesn't even get a cross into the box because Rashford and the other winger are cutting in to shoot. Doesn't work for Ange Ball. The wingers are supposed to, run, pull it back. Sorry. Run, pull it back. Trying to do it to the camera, it's a bit difficult. Watching that on mute must be hilarious. You're just watching me doing hand signals. You think I'm dancing, don't you? But he doesn't do that. He does not do that. Minus the fact that he doesn't work hard enough when it comes to pressing. It just doesn't work. No clubs have been charged of any breaches of PSR from last season. So there you go. Teams have found another way around it. Good to see. But yes. Sorry, what were we saying? Get a better right way. I'm so gassed about Werner to Napoli. Yeah, I've already mentioned about Werner. It's not going to happen, unfortunately. It's not going to happen. I don't get the idea of getting Rashford helping a rival, especially when they want Colo, less Juve. Well, there's that as well. I mean, it depends. If Kolo Muani supposedly is the number one target. Supposedly is the number one target. But if the deal's getting too difficult, there's that. Højlund should get memes. He doesn't score much because of his awful sub. Yeah, honestly, if you watch Man United, Højlund is not their issue. It's the fact that they, other than Bruno Fernandes, they hate trying to put a cross in for him. They hate trying to support him. He's not a bad player, Højlund, at all. It's just because of his age, the cost of him. But I actually don't mind Højlund. I think he's an all right player. They just don't try and serve him. He's in a graveyard shift most of the time. I'm doing fish movements, yeah. We're not in for Kvaratskhelia, no. Kvaratskhelia, I think it's how you pronounce it. He's going to PSG. Going to PSG. Hope you get a bomber tomorrow. Not heard that much about Musa. from Feyenoord. Can't keep getting players to us to think we can rescue their careers. We're not a charity case, that's for sure. Reckon Spurs could get a loan for Tommy Tonks. I think he's too good for us. Kind of want to come Spurs and Varn. I don't think Werner's leaving, lads. I really don't. Lads and lasses, I don't think he is. Jazz, I'd love Dorgu, but we're not going to get him, unfortunately. Unless it's a deal that we complete for the summer. One thing for sure, he's better than Johnson if he comes to run at players. Well, he needs to be able to cross. At least Johnson does what he's told. Levy just won't spend the money. He wants champagne for a price of a bottle of lemonade. Like, lemonade's not cheap anymore. Lemonade's not cheap anymore. Well, Solanke's better than Højlund for sure. I feel for Højlund, but Solanke's much, much better. Link up play wise, Højlund's good, but Solanke's very solid at that. You know, hold up plays great, link up plays great. You know, I've witnessed Spurs play poorly this season, and Solanke's been the only shining light. You know, and then when he doesn't have a great game because he's getting zero service and zero link up play, people go, "God, what a waste of money." Oh, you're not watching the game. Good to see. But look, some good stuff there on that side of things. Liverpool rejected a bid from Al Hilal for Darwin Nunez for 70 million. Jesus Christ. Did I see Ali McCoy choosing between Spurs and Arsenal players and chose 9 Arsenal players? Shocking. It doesn't really affect me. Ali can do what he wants. Doesn't really affect me. You know, I would also say, look at where they are in the league. Look at where we are in the league. We need to be aware that they are doing better than us this season. Does it mean that we don't have some better players than them? Of course. Like, we have better players than them. I mean, striker alone, Solanke's better than their strikers. Son's better than their left wingers. Okay, fine. Have Saka as their right winger, you know? You want a Cav Raya? I'll give you Raya for now. Desi Doggy's better than their fullbacks, in my opinion. Romero should be one of the centre-backs. Right back. Ben White's not played this season. Do you say Timber is the right back? And if you do, fine, we'll give you I'll give you Timber, but midfield wise, well, Kulusevski's been our best player this season. Kulu's in the midfield. Maddison or you probably say Odegaard over Maddison, maybe, just to give him nicely for that. And then Rice, I guess, is 6. So yeah, I've already named multiple players. I suppose we get in there. Not an issue. All these players linked with only is distractions. So other clubs don't see who Spurs really want. Ooh, I like it, Sticks. I like it. What foot's Colo? Right foot. What if we beat Arsenal? If we beat Arsenal, we turn our season around. Agreed. I wouldn't spend 70p on Darwezi. Honestly, his movement is incredible. If you watch his movement, his finishing is so poor, but his movement is next to none. It's like Defoe-like movement, but with like me-like finishing. It's just awful. Yeah, Gabby Jesus suspected ACL injury, so he will be out for sure of the Northampton derby. It's a horrible injury. I feel for him because I feel for any player that does their ACL because I've done it and it's not a nice injury. It's a horrific injury. It hurts a lot. You know, you're talking about nearly a year-long recovery. And especially as a footballer, your career is so short. You're missing out a full year of your career. I do feel for him. Regardless of what team you play for, I do feel for them. If you get him, would you play him right or left? Good hold-up play. You're not watching United much. Well, I mean, he was playing under Ten Hag, but if you've watched him under Amorim, he's looked pretty decent. I don't know. Looked all right against Arsenal. And then Xerxes sat Saliba down. My goodness. What about cheeky loan move for Tau? I believe he's off to Chelsea with Nkunku going to Bayern Munich. How is Nkunku not worked out at Chelsea, by the way? Like, he is such a good player, Nkunku. I don't get it. Like, all the French internationals go, yeah, in training, he kills us all. Like, he's easily our best player in training. It's like, how has it not worked at Chelsea? I don't get it. I really like Christopher Nkunku. I don't know how it's not worked, you know. On current form, Kinski is a better keep. It's 2 games. Like, I'll give you the Liverpool one. I'm not going to give you Tamworth, but like, it's 2 games. Let's just hold up on Kinski. I like what he's done so far. Let's hold up on him. Jorginho and Timber injured as well, but I don't know. I think Arteta did his press conference already. I think I saw something that was at like 9:15. What was it? I can't remember what time it was supposed to be. I think it was 9:50. I haven't seen anything. And there's no prospect of Richarlison leaving this month. I just saw that as well, really quickly. They play him in the conference. Yeah, it's a weird one. 65 minutes chance. Yeah, Nkunku should be playing a hell of a lot more. They play Mudryk as well and things like that. Just play the guy who I think on paper can still be their best player, and that includes Cole Palmer. I really rate Christopher Nkunku. I really, really do. He might not be, but he's definitely closer towards the top of their pile of their 300 million players squad. Not pounds, because it's, 5 times that amount, but 300 million players in the squad. He's one of the better ones, in my opinion. I don't know why it's not worked. I don't know why. It looks like Bayern's trying to sign. Yeah. Yeah, it's horrible. Horrible his injury. Kinski has 50% of Kara's clean sheets to club, I believe. I don't know how many Vic has, but yeah, I like Kinski. Let's just give it let it breathe and let him settle and let him, because he's going to make mistakes. And what I don't want is people to jump down his throat like they did with Vicario. Chelsea must have a big problem trying to keep all those players happy. When you've got 300 million players, it's hard. He's staying at Bayern. There you go. Tell's staying at Bayern. I mean, I've watched Tell a couple of times this season. I wasn't blown away by him, if I'm honest. For a player that I was told was quite quick, he looked quite sluggish and slow when I watched him. Maybe I just watched a bad game of him, but I wasn't blown away. Well, Cowboy, not only did you want Gallagher, but Ange wanted Gallagher and then was told he can't have him because he's too expensive. When the deal wasn't even crazy expensive. Two completely different players, Vic and Kinski, two different aspects in terms of play. I just like them both. That's my thinking with it. I like them both. But look, some really good stuff. Really good stuff. Give you a bit of an injury update. Richie, they reckon, will be on the bench tomorrow. So we have a striker option on the bench now. Oh, I didn't know we could have such a thing. Oh. So yeah, Richie supposedly should be on the bench for tomorrow's game. Obviously, I know he wants to be fit for this game. It's North London Derby, but obviously Everton at the weekend, he's going to want to play in the Everton game as well. It's his former club. They've talked about Ben Davies, has returned to training, but they said it's not guaranteed he will make the squad for tomorrow. I assume, let's just see how he goes today. And if he gets through today without any issues, we'll see. But it's not for certain he will be in the squad. But, lo and behold, Spurs are starting to get one or two players back here and there. Davies potentially being back. If Davies is not back for this game, Davies is back for the weekend of Everton. Richie being back. You got Mikey that's just come back. You're starting to get a little bit of health. And I'd probably say in the next 3 weeks, so 3 weeks today will be the 4th of February. By the 4th of February, you would expect Vic to be back, potentially. Mickey and Romero. Odebear, I think, will probably be a week or two after that. Mid-Feb, maybe late Feb. Bentancur should be back within the next 3 weeks as well. I think he'll be gone for a couple of weeks. I think he'll be towards the end of this month. Obviously, Maddison and Sarr are back for this game after obviously last week's Liverpool game. They're back for this game. You start to look at it and go, Spurs are starting to get a few players back. We've been injury ravaged. We've been very unfortunate. You get people going, it's all Ange's fault that all these hamstrings are going. And it's like, okay, so not all these are hamstrings. I assume it's Ange's fault that Bentancur basically knocked himself out. I'm sure that's Ange's fault, isn't it? So regardless, as much as I can take the mick out of those people for just not liking Ange, and that's their issue, that's their agenda, and fine, keep it to yourself. Spurs are starting to get a few players back. Obviously, Destiny's out for a couple of months. He's a long term. He's about 6 to 8 weeks. Vic, I would say, by this time next month, will be back. And Romero and Mickey, I expect to be back in the next 2 to 3 weeks. By the 4th of February. They should both be back, no issues. Bentancur will be back as well by that point, you should hope. Richie obviously being back, Mikey's being back. By that point, on paper, obviously we'll pick up injuries in that time. That's normal. It's part of the game. You do get injuries. Hopefully it's only the odd one or two. Really, by that point, it's only Odebear and Destiny that are to come back. And Odebear won't be long after that. You know, I said about 4th of Feb. Odebear I expect to be back a couple of weeks after that. Obviously, by the 4th of Feb, you would say Destiny's at least another month away. So you're starting to get there. Mickey should be back soon since I think he's back in the training. Yeah, he won't be long. He won't be long away. Yeah, he won't be far. Not being funny, but Richie can get injured within 20 minutes of coming on. By the way, I like Richie. I like Richie as well. But yeah, you have to say he's injury prone for sure. I don't think they're trying to rush him. That's why. I'd stick him on the bench for a couple of. Do you know what? Hoffenheim, the 23rd of January. That's the game that I would start him in. So you play you play Solanke. Sorry. You play Solanke tomorrow night. You play Solanke Sunday. Richie's on the bench for both. And then you play Richie in the Europa League game on the 23rd. That's my thinking, at least. Yeah. When it comes to concussions, you have to pass certain measures. And in American football, there's certain measures you have to pass, right, before you're even allowed to touch an American football, regardless of even running around or anything. And apparently, if you don't clear them back to back, if you cleared a few and then failed one, you have to go all the way back to the start and go again. So we'll see about Bentancur, but you're looking at least a couple of weeks. They said 10 days something, but I just look at it as a couple of weeks. Romero's foot is a hamstring by Ange. Yeah, all his fault, isn't it? Didn't he play more than 10 games for us? Yeah, I will get it back. Bringing back players early. I wouldn't say early. They talked about Richie would be back at the start of January, and it's now the mid part of January. So actually, they probably gave him more rest and more time. But then look, the medical team mucked up when it came to Davies, and I think that's why they just went, right, you've mucked up so many times over the last couple of months. Catch you later. See you later. Please, can we hire some new people? Because evidently we failed with these guys. Get me in. I'll go. Walk? Oh, didn't like your walk. Sit on the bench, mate. You're not going anywhere. Herb Romero will be back by the 20th. And yeah, I think by the end of this month, they'll be both back. How many games have Odebear been involved in? 3 to 4. More than that, I think. Rest on and give Yang a start. No, well, it won't be Yang. It'll be Mikey. But yeah, Yang needs all the time in the world just to adjust and get himself ready. All right. But anyway, really good video. Thanks very much for watching. Obviously, we talked Cullen Wine, we talked Rashford, we talked the lone roundup, we talked Werner, we talked all sorts of stuff. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be uploading on the second channel in the next sort of 10, 15 minutes. So keep your eyes out for that. Link in the description below. And I'll see you all potentially a little bit later to talk a little bit about Spurs transfers if anything happens. But if not, I'll see you tomorrow to give you my last minute thoughts ahead of the North London derby. Take care, everyone. Peace.